The Democrat Party has probably reached the lowest point of no return ever. For a long time, they've ignored children. Now they are using children. They are weaponizing children against the current president, Donald Trump. As well as that, Donald Trump is working the art of the deal on a daily basis. And it's never been more clear than what we are seeing in Iran. And the art of the deal is a little easier when you have the weight of the United States military on the shoulders of your enemies. And that's exactly what's happening here.
Why wouldn't he say that? Of course you're going to say that, but we have the biggest, most powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal, then we'll find out whether or not he was right.
So Donald Trump is responding to an X post or a statement by the Ayatollah Khomeini. And the Iranian supreme leader has basically warned of a regional war if the United States attacks Iran. Donald Trump lays it out. We'll find out whether he was right or not if they don't make a deal. I'm going to show you here some of the information that backs this up. And this is a map showing all of the United States Navy's military might in that area surrounding Iran's coastline. It says polite like a steel necklace, HY-80, and a little bit of haze gray is the color of that steel necklace. 8 Arleigh Burke ships, class ships, a carrier strike group, enough Tomahawks to redecorate Tehran if needed. No wonder the supreme leader suddenly opened to talks. Nothing says let's negotiate in good faith like 90,000 tons of floating diplomacy. That might be one of the greatest quotes ever. I love it. And you can see here exactly what Iran is up against with their one little lonely drone carrier. You see this all in the Mediterranean. You see this through the straits, and you see it just outside of their country there in the Gulf of Oman. And this is the art of the deal using steel, using warheads on foreheads. And I believe the Ayatollah is eventually going to come to some level of an agreement, whether he wants to or not. And I love here, chess, not checkers. Now, at the same time, there are other countries around the world, like Britain, where Iranians are protesting in the streets of London outside of 10 North Downing Street. That's their prime minister's office, condemning the British state's support of the IGRC, the Islamic Republic. So the United States, we're there trying to help liberate the country. The British government is there supporting the regime that chants, you know what, to America, and would gladly do the same thing to the people in the United Kingdom. This is totally backwards, completely insane twist of fate by the British government. And I think they're behind some of the problems, probably more problems than what we admit to or what we would say publicly, but you know it as good as I do. And as well as the British people, now you have China weighing in. China has just deployed a ship called the Lao Wang. I think Eric Swalwell was banging a Lao Wang. This is an electronic reconnaissance ship that will damage American weapons accuracy. It's kind of a jammer. You can see with all the golf balls there on there. And they have put this in that area to interfere with United States military technology. They have put that there in a way to protect the Iranian military. And I'm telling you right now, that this is not good when China is getting involved like this. It's a bad move. This is going to be a bad move on the world stage, but we know exactly why China is doing this. It is because of oil. It is caused for them because Iran supplies a vast majority of their oil. Venezuela did that before, but once Venezuela had their oil supply cut off by the United States, China has no choice but to support this other regime there in Iran. Now, back in the United States, and I told you the Democrat Party has reached a point of no return, but this video out of Portland, Oregon, has teachers here in the United States at a Montessori school. I think this is one of these private schools, and they're leading their children no older than 5 or 6 years old in an anti-ICE protest. These same children would be used by these teachers, and it's always the nose rings, blue hair, funny glasses, and typically some level of what I would say mental incapacity. But I want you to see these children being used as patsies. And if you're a parent, what do you think about this? Is that what should be happening? 5 or 6 year old kids? Should they be out protesting against ICE, calling Donald Trump a fascist and all this other kind of stuff? I don't think so either. If my kid went to that school, they would quickly be taken out of that school. But I'm sure most of the parents there are in support of everything that's happening. It's just kind of how it works. Now, the exact same thing is happening in Minneapolis because of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. So we've got the art of the deal on the world stage.
They broke into everybody. All these fucking windows.
And you see all of the protests. This was 2 days ago in Minneapolis. This is not organic. And look at all of the windows busted out of the cars just parked along the street. Now, if you know the protest is coming through, why would you park there other than just being dumb or dumb? I wouldn't park my car near a protest with thousands of people. But probably what I would do is go around and stick some MAGA stickers on some vehicles of, some of my lefty friends. That would be a trip. But the use of kids, the use of innocent people, the use of old people that need a little extra income is nothing new. It's been happening in Portland. It's continuing to happen in Portland. See that? So the little kid just got a little tear gas, a little bit of stuff in the eye of the parent took their kid to this protest and got some tear gas. Does that sound like child abuse, child neglect, child endangerment? There's got to be some kind of word there that should be used when you take your kid and put your kid in this level of danger. It's almost as bad as, like sneaking your kid across the border. But it's just as bad in Texas. Now liberals in Midland, Texas, and Texas is on the tipping point. If Texas ever goes blue, America could be done. Liberals in Midland, Texas are now calling for a boycott from their local fire department after firefighters use safety harnesses and ladders to help ICE get illegal aliens off of the roof of some houses. Look at this. You cannot make this up.
We are here and some people are being witnesses to what is going on. We can tell that some of them are actually concerned for their safety. As we mentioned earlier, we spoke with some neighbors and they did say that they believed this to be a medical emergency. And then they saw HSI, they saw people.
They're 8 feet off the ground, 10 feet off the ground, 8 feet at a minimum if they just came down to the eave of the house and just dropped down to the ground? Is there really any need to bring out a fire truck with a hook and ladder to get some illegals? Do you think they would be treated this nicely by the cartels? By the federales? Wow. This is absolute absurdity. I would be embarrassed if I was a firefighter there. I would be embarrassed if I was a voter there or a taxpayer. But you see them, they're going to drop down, they're going to try to run. ICE is going to grab them, they're going to get sent home, and that's exactly what we voted for. It's exactly what I voted for. The use of children, suddenly the Democrat Party cares about children. This is just such a bad look. But they have turned to my old adage, think of the children. Democrat Party is on its last legs. I don't know how much further down the rabbit hole of disgust that they can get into, but the Democrat Party never ceases to amaze me. If there were not double standards, there would be no standards. Iran has a couple of choices they can make. Continue down the path of destruction and enriching uranium, trying to create some nuclear weapons, continuing to defy the sanctions that the Trump administration has put on them, continue to try to make nuclear weapons to cause hate and dangerous problems in the Middle East, or they can comply. They can stop treating their people like pieces of cattle, or they can feel the wrath of the United States military. It's up to them. Love to get your opinion on this. Are we going to see some real change there? Is the art of the deal in full effect with 90,000 tons of military might? And sadly, the people here in the United States that are protesting ICE would probably fight for an invading force if one ever came onto our shores. I firmly believe that. Without a shadow of a doubt, I believe that the people using their kids to protest are no better than the people in Iran that would use their children as body armor. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll see you in the next one.